Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your bonus reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Okay, Four of Swords. Interesting to start the Four of Swords, right? Especially, considering some of the, maybe the more recent readings that we've been doing for you. I feel like this is kind of, this is us coming to a conclusion about something. This is us really kind of believing in something, and we're not stressed out about it anymore. I feel like we've gone from a Five of Swords to a Four, and now we're just sort of at peace. We're sort of at rest. The mind is at rest. The mind has said, okay, I've stressed about it enough, I've analyzed it enough, and now I'm going to just go with it, right? This isn't so much the idea of us knowing all the answers. We didn't figure everything out and suddenly now we know all the secrets of the universe. No, it's something where we say, I'm content with what I know now, and now I'm going to start taking action based on this. So we're not going to sit around forever trying to understand everything. Before we start actually doing the thing, we're going to say, okay, mind, we've got a decent amount of knowledge. I got most of this figured out, or maybe not even that much. Maybe just I got a little bit of info, and I'm ready to act. Okay? I think that this is, it could be for you a great ability to negotiate. And that you understand real negotiation. We have to sit down, calm, you have to respect the other person, you have to listen. Listen more than we talk. Right? And I think that you're really able to leave the table or leave the meeting feeling as if you really did something, you really accomplished something. I think you have a great rapport with people. I think you like to listen to people. I think people appreciate that. I feel like when you talk to somebody, they feel like they're the only person in the room. The only person in the world, just you and them. Because you're really there and you hear what they're saying. Okay? And I feel like this is the card of a great listener. Yeah. I think that we've found a way to sort of calm ourselves down mentally a little bit. We haven't stopped the mental chatter. We haven't stopped the internal voice, right? That dialogue. But we've calmed it down. It doesn't seem so frantic or hectic anymore. It's more peaceful. Yeah. Let's put this card into a little bit of context, and let's see what you're doing in life and what's ahead of you. Well, there's the Seven of Swords and Eight of Swords. Oh, how did I know? We're going to get all the swords now. Three of Pentacles, the Sun card, and the Emperor in your future. That's 100% better than you thought it was going to be, right? This is the Seven of Swords, right? It's a card called Futility. And I think really what it is, it's you recognizing that the continued struggle and effort and these rabbit holes and just the complexity that we're building up through all of these other pathways really aren't serving you. So rather than doing this Seven of Swords sort of activity, exploring a million other ideas, asking a million more questions, every question just leads to another question, right? We're sort of at peace. We're sort of saying the alternative to the Four right now, the alternative to that peace and that restful mind and that calmness and that ability to just sort of be and to listen and to breathe is more than just mental stress. It's kind of mental chaos, right? And we know that the 7 is going to lead us directly to this 8. Because you know, and we've been getting the 8 of Swords for your readings lately, Gemini. And I think that you remember what it's like to be in an 8 of Swords. This is something that's within you. This is your tendency. You have a very great ability. You have a superpower, right? Of sort of wrapping yourself up in analysis to the point where you don't know what to do, right? So the self-awareness here is on point. You know yourself well enough to say, at some point, I've got to stop tinkering with things mentally. I've got to stop, editing and altering and changing the plan and growing the plan. I've got to eventually just say, enough is enough. Let's start doing it. Okay? So the 8 of Swords down here at the bottom is kind of that, the realization that, okay, we don't want to take things too far in terms of our analysis, our figuring out, our asking questions, our investigations. The complexity of something is never ending. It's never ending. The deeper you go, the more tangled up you get. The more there is to unravel, right? We could spend our entire lives doing this rather than just saying, okay, I've got a pretty decent grasp on it. I'm going to start doing it. And then we think, okay, this is good. We got that Emperor energy in the future position. It's going to be 100% better than you thought. Because this is no action. This is just thought and analysis and figuring out and asking questions. This is action. So this is automatically 100% better than nothing, right? Taking 1 millimeter step is 100% better than taking no steps at all. Also, Gemini, if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now I'll put the rest of our cards out on the table here. Look at that. Got to clear my voice for this one because that is the Lover's card. That is your superpower card. That is the card that rules the sign of Gemini. This is your ideal self. This is your very best self, your true self. This is the ideal you. This is a card that says you know yourself. And you know your superpowers. And you're going to employ them. You're not going to, your superpowers aren't going to use you. You know what I mean? Like you understand who you are and what you're capable of. And you're going to use that as a tool, as a skill to move forward, not as something that's going to bind us up and push us down or prevent us from moving forward. Okay, that you are now the master of your own mind, essentially. I love this. I'm so happy we got that card. I was worried. There's the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, yeah. The 10 of Cups. And a Queen of Wands. Can I get a hell yeah? Because this is nice. This is really, really good. I started to get nervous when we got these Swords cards. Because then we got the 7. Then we had the 8. And I was like, oh, no, there's going to be a 9 and a 10 here. After I just got through talking about the 4 and how nice this is, that we sort of have a handle on our thoughts and we just have this peacefulness inside of our mind. We're not stressing. And the thing is, even with the 7 of Swords, we can accept criticism from other people. We can have our internal dialogue and I can talk to myself and try to figure things out. But I don't have to allow my mental peace or clarity or balance or mental calm, right? I don't have to let that be disturbed. Because very often we talk to ourselves and we start agitating ourselves and we get stressed out. We start pulling at our hair and tearing at our clothes. This is not that. This is a very sort of peaceful conversation that we're having with ourselves. That internal dialogue is very important, So I like that we have these 2 cards because this alone maybe says that we've toned down the internal dialogue and we're resting now, right? Well, we don't really want rest. We want action. We want to continue. We want to step into our Emperor energy and step into our superpower and get this Wheel of Fortune to get this best life, 10 of Cups, satiety, happiness, the fulfillment of life. So we don't just want the 4 of Swords. A 7 of Swords is good because it's kind of like we're still having that conversation with ourselves. but we're doing so in a positive way. That's the issue here. We're doing so in a way that is motivating us. We're not saying, I can't do it, I'm just going to quit, I hate this, I hurt, it sucks, whatever. We're saying, let's do it, I can do it. We can motivate ourselves by thinking about the goal and thinking about kind of what we're doing and encouraging ourselves and going through this very positive dialogue that I am great, I can do this, I'm getting better and better. I am happy, I'm healthy, I'm wise, I'm doing it. I'm going to keep doing it, right? I'm growing every day. I'm getting better and better. Like, we could encourage ourselves in that way rather than the Seven of Swords being either the negative self-talk and the criticism, or just making something so complex that we never actually get started. It's you have a plan to go to the gym or to do anything, and before you actually go do it, you got to get out your calculator, your slide rule, your whatever stuff, the compass, the protractor, and everything. And you've got to write this whole thing out. And we're just there studying and researching and planning and writing down rough draft after rough draft after rough draft. We never actually get to the gym. We're too busy planning it. And maybe it's too much in our head. We're thinking about it too much. We're planning it out in our head too much. I think even writing it down on paper, at least that's some sort of action, But we're just living in our minds. And that's when we get down into that Eight of Swords. And that's kind of that paralysis. I can't get out of my head, right? This is at least sort of productive, This is, we're maintaining the calm in our mind. We're still having our conversation, we're still having our dialogue, we're still trying to figure things out, but we're also moving toward action. We're also doing something about it. And I think this is absolutely perfect for you. I think this is where you really shine. You got your, shine, right? You got your sun, you've got your Lover's card, you got your Wheel of Fortune. Let's select our mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just going to set it down right here with Alien Simon Mork Ripley. Gotta love ASMR. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments down below. Let's take a look around the room. I really do like these major arcana energies that we have. The Sun, the Emperor, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Lover's card. The Sun, of course, is just sort of letting your light shine. Okay? Believing in yourself, it's clarity, it's confidence, right? It's an optimism. We're out there in the world doing it. Every day is sunshine when you are when you're in your spiritual zone, okay? Even when there is turbulence sort of down below, we see a little bit of that kind of in the mind. I think your mind is a lot more peaceful than it has been, right? But we're sort of living up here in this sunshine. And this is where we're trying to stay. And when we're in that sunshine, we sort of we're able to take action, to move forward, to make progress in our life. We're getting out of our head. Okay? The mind is sort of realizing, or perhaps it is your spiritual self is realizing that the mind just needs to take a break. Right? We've been stressing out over things too much. We can have our encouraging internal dialogue, but the real work for you right now is to get out of your head and start doing the thing that you've been thinking about doing for so long. And that is going to put you closer to your ideal self. You're taking charge of your life. You're getting closer to your purpose, closer to the fulfillment of your path, your spiritual path, as well as your earthly path. And I think you're going to experience a lot more jackpots, a lot more green lights in your life when we get out of our head. When we're so wrapped up in our thoughts like this, We can't see anything, especially down here in this Eight of Swords. And you're aware that you have this tendency. And we get so wrapped up in our thought process, our planning, the complexity. I think you're a brilliant person. You're super smart. Probably have a very high IQ. You probably can figure anything out. You probably have a dozen different genius ideas traveling around in your head at any given time. But when we're in this mental state, when we're stuck in our heads, we don't witness really what's going on around us. We're not always present here, enjoying the things that life has to offer. And you're not always fulfilling any of these genius ideas that you've got going on in your head, right? Now's the time for you to start doing all those things that you've been thinking about doing for so long, okay? But I don't want to discount the value of this thought, because if you can hold it in your mind, if you've got things figured out in your head, then you can figure them out here in the material world too. If you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. We just have to be careful of what we're saying to ourselves, okay? The idea here is that the body is going to obey the mind, okay? So we need the positive dialogue, the motivating dialogue, and we need to trust. I think the Four of Swords, because it's a Jupiter energy, I feel like this is a card of trust, sort of trusting in ourselves, trusting that, I know enough to get started, and I can figure out the rest as I go. I don't have to solve every mystery of the universe before I ever do anything in the material world, And so this is that trust in ourselves, the trust in the universe, and even the universe itself with this Wheel of Fortune card is asking you to trust. Faith, hope, and trust in the universe. Trust in the divine timing. Sometimes the Swords cards say that we're trying to plan out every single thing about our life. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, we're trying to have such a schedule. Every breath is on a schedule, right? The Wheel of Fortune is saying, let's just roll with it. Let's just let's trust in the flow of things. Let's let Spirit take the wheel a little bit. Let's let our divine energy, let's let our own soul, our own true self take the wheel here, okay? Rather than the mind having to plan out everything, because if we try to do that, we're never going to actually do anything. Okay, so you have a lot of major arcana energies, and it seems like your luck is about to change. Your life is expanding. You're broadening your horizons. There's a lot more out there for you in life. A lot of these ideas that you have are going to materialize. Okay? Any of these things that you're thinking about doing, you pick any one of those, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be fantastic. Okay? So we got majors. We got a little bit of fire. We have some water here. We've got quite a bit of air, obviously, and we've got some earth energy behind us. But even the earth energy back here, right? The Three of Pentacles. This is a card that says you understand the process of creation. You know how to do it. I think you're somebody, again, who knows how to figure things out. That you could do anything in life because you understand how to do things, There's a difference between understanding how things work, understanding how things happen, the mechanics of it, let's say the engineering or whatever, the specific, blueprints of things. Like, I feel like you really understand how things work and how to do things. There's a big difference between that and then actually doing it, But this is a very special thing, And maybe in your life You've been through a few instances of that, where you really have dived into something and you know all about it, you know all the ins and outs of it, you're the expert at it. But you don't really want to, sometimes you don't want to do it. And I got to tell you that when I was in EMT school, that's kind of how I was. I loved the science of it. I loved understanding how to do it. I loved all of that classroom stuff, the lab stuff, the sort of skills training. I loved all the training and all the investigation, all the learning, all the tests and quizzes, and I loved figuring it all out and feeling like I understood the ins and outs of it, right? I didn't really want to do it. I didn't want to go do it as an actual job in real life. Okay? And that, I think, brings us over to our 10 of Cups, even though we're talking out of order today. That's okay. It's my show. I can do that. The 10 of Cups here, the water energy, is in the position of what you don't want. The fulfillment, the satisfaction. And maybe this is because we're kind of, when we understand it, when we're in our heads, it feels good. We know what we're doing. There's an expertise that we feel like we really are shining, you know? But then if we get out into the real world and we start doing it, what if I'm no good at it? What if people don't like me? What if I fail at it? What if it's not that fun? What if I don't feel the fulfillment and the satisfaction? I think the fear here, the obstacle, or the energy we don't want, is to feel like it's not going to live up to how we experienced it in our heads. Okay? And it may not. That's sort of the trick here. That's the paradox of life. And we know that, right? Because what we learn in the classroom is going to be obsolete by the time we get out into the field. The field is a whole other ballgame. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but when I was in the EMT school, I had one of the highest scores in the class. I think maybe there was one person that did better than me on the skills and on the tests and stuff, but basically 100% on everything, right? And because I love that. I love the classroom setting. I love learning. I love the subject matter, you know? And it was great. I felt that I really was onto something there. But then getting out into the field was a totally different story. It's a totally different ballgame. It's kind of like you have to do it all over again. Now it's all about interacting with people. Now it's all about being part of a team. Now it's all about sort of acting spontaneously and reacting and responding to the situation. It's not just a book I can study and learn and I can really absorb the information and use my intellect and I know the answers and I know why it's the right answer and that sort of thing. Out in the field, it's way different. Out in the field, none of that matters. Out in the field, it's not about intellect. It's about action. It's about rapport. It's about feeling. Okay? And that's always been a little bit more difficult for me, believe it or not. Anyway, so I think that's why we have that 10 of Cups in that position. But the star here, I think, is very important because I feel like you have both of those capacities in you. You have this ability to be charming, to let your light out, to shine, to build rapport with people. You know, you have the clarity and the intelligence, and I think really the genius intellectually and sort of internally to understand and absorb the information. You know the right answer, and you know why it's the right answer, and that is understanding. Okay? It's the difference between knowledge and understanding, yeah. But I think in addition to that, you also have this ability to be charming. I think you have probably, I don't know you, but probably a lovely personality. And you can be part of a team, and you can let your light shine, and you can build this rapport. But sometimes we maybe don't believe in that. Sometimes we kind of don't want to take the risks. Sometimes it just feels better to live inside with what I have in here rather than to go forward into this Emperor energy and maybe or maybe not get that 10 of Cups. Maybe we'll fall short. Maybe I won't like it as much. Maybe people won't like me. Maybe I just won't be as successful out in the field as I was in the classroom. That was my worry too. Okay? But the Emperor is sort of doing it anyway. You know, the Emperor is taking charge of all of our faculties, and I think that any one of these ideas that you have, you can manifest that into something extraordinary. Okay? Extraordinary. And the Emperor is all about taking action. It is a card of practical movements. It's out here in the field making progress. It's an emperor. It's the fourth mystery of the tarot. 4 sort of represents that material world. It sort of represents the field. Just as the 4 of swords kind of represents the field of the mind. The other 4s of the tarot represent the field of, the other suits, the other areas, the spiritual realm, the material world and the emotional field. But this represents taking action in the material world and out in the field, but with confidence, with authority, knowing that you're in control, that this information you have, this beautiful mind that you have, you can put it into practice. It's from theory now into practice. It's from the classroom out to the field. And this is the way forward for you. And it's time. I think the Wheel of Fortune is telling you that it is time. Let's talk about the path of the serpent now, okay? And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It's free, doesn't cost anything. It's very supportive of the channel and of the work that I do here, and I really, really do appreciate that. Your general energy, the Lover's card, right? I think you understand more than most what the Lover's card is all about. It's not about the romantic relationship, but it is about the choice and the commitment that we see, that we usually think about in terms of a romantic relationship. It's like you want to be with that person and you're willing to struggle and to work hard to maintain that relationship and to be with that person. And, whether it's a soulmate situation or a twin flame or whatever, we're working hard to stay married to that thing, that person, or that idea, or that thought, or that plan, that path, okay? This is a choice to be committed to something. This is you choosing, this is you saying yes to the proposal, right? Maybe literally, maybe not. It could be that there's an Aries person in your future, and this is your saying yes to the proposal, okay? Very much could be a romantic thing for you if that's what's going on with you, okay? And that, again, sort of taking us out of our head. We may have these, thoughts and plans and fantasies and all this kind of information in our minds, but until we do it out in the field, it's not concrete, not solid. So this is your commitment. This is you saying yes to the proposal. And it may be a soulmate situation. But I think if it's not a romantic thing, it's one of these ideas that you have. And this is you committing to doing it. You're at least going to start and you're going to embark upon that path. You're going to get out of your head and you're going to say yes and you're going to start doing it. Okay? The Wheel of Fortune is saying that not only are you going to do it, but you're going to do it well, and you're going to have so many benefits from it. I think the mental benefits, just putting your mind at ease, being able to just kind of, to get out of our heads, to get out in the world, out in the field, out in nature, shining our light. That's an amazing benefit. I think you're going to have a lot of new experiences. I think you're going to connect with a lot of people. I think it's going to be, it's quite a social thing, whether this is some sort of a work thing. This could be physical, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, or creative, right? It's going to put you in touch with a lot of new people, a lot of new experiences. It's something that is going to expand your life, take you places you never thought you would go, okay? There's maybe a financial component to this, but I feel that this is really about you trusting in the process, trusting in yourself to go out in the field and do your very best. You're going to see doors opening. You're going to see Spirit giving you green lights. You're going to see things people like you. You're building rapport with people. You're feeling successful, and that is rewarding. Every time we have one of those experiences, our emperor gets a little bit stronger. Our confidence gets a little bit of a boost. We get that feedback. Out in the field as EMT, you have an encounter with somebody and you're able to help them, or they sort of express their gratitude to you. When you're an EMT, you're talking to people and they're not really having a good day, right? But if you can end that encounter with them saying thank you, or squeezing your hand, or giving you a hug, or any, or even just like even not doing that, but just not yelling at you, right? That's a win. That's a good day. That's a jackpot, and that reinforces. It says, yeah, wait, hey, that person didn't hate me. That's good news, Well, if they give you a hug or something, then that's an even bigger boost. But it's like, hey, I feel like I belong here. I feel like I'm good at this, And I got to say that's most likely going to be your experience, okay? The Ten of Cups is what we are worried about, obviously. The ability, the fear, the worry that we're not going to have the ability that we imagine we do, or the reality of something as it exists in our minds is not going to be the reality out in the field, that we are not going to live up to, we're not going to be as good as we thought we were, basically, right? That we're not going to be as happy, we're not going to be as fulfilled, people aren't going to like us as much. We just feel that we're going to be let down, or we're going to let ourselves down, etc. That's some of that negative dialogue that we talked about. Let's stop that. Okay? Let's realize that this is the ideal, this is the perfection that we're looking for. And we have to go out there and try to get as many of these cups as we can. And of course, we're going to have good days and bad days. Not every day is going to be 10 cups filled to overflowing with this, this feel-good energy. There are going to be patients that cuss at you. There's going to be people that throw up on you and throw things at you and hate you, and it's par for the course. We can't let that disturb our overall impression of, how am I doing? Am I doing a good job? Is this rewarding? Does this feel good to me? To help people even if they're cursing at you. There will be other days that feel overwhelmingly positive. And we've got to be okay with either one. We got to get comfortable. We got to get happy even when we're uncomfortable, even when things are unhappy. And I think that's how we're going to find the success and the fulfillment that we really truly want. First step, getting out of our head, saying yes to the proposal. Right? Because this is your power card. This is your kind of ideal self, your true self. Feel like you really want to do this. Okay? You really, really want to do it. Now, the last card is the Queen of Wands. This is water and fire. This is the confidence on the outside. The fire is on the outside, right? The fire is our ambition. The fire is our awareness. We're present. We're here. My mind's not, I'm not in my head. I'm in the moment. I'm in the zone. I'm doing the work. I'm on the path, right? Inside is that heart. Inside is that water. And that's sort of what we're protecting, because we know that there will be good days and bad days. So we cannot be so affected by the bad days. It can't be that you have a bad encounter with a patient, suddenly you just lose your mojo, and the rest of the day is going to go terrible. You're not going to shine. Your light's not going to be shining. Right? So we have to be resistant to the ebb and flow of the world around us. The ups and downs of life out in the field. Good days, bad days, good encounters, bad encounters, right? Pleasant or unpleasant. We've got to be fortified against that and never lose our light. In whatever path this is. I don't know if this is a medical thing for you. Probably not, but hey, it could be. This is the same if it's a romantic relationship. The same energy applies. Okay? Let's look at our mystery card. I want to see what confirmation this is going to be. What do you think it's going to be, first of all? I kind of worry it's going to be a 10 of Swords. What do you think it's going to be? I want to see a 9. Oh, no, I want to see a 6 of Cups. Because that, to me, feels like that's the rapport. That's that really encouraging, wonderful encounter. You have the beautiful experience with the patient. And That's what matters. That's what we're going to take encouragement from. The other patients that are spitting at us and throwing stuff and cursing at us, those I'll be indifferent to. But the ones that really are it's so fulfilling and so rewarding, those are the positive reinforcements, right? And it's those moments that make all the unpleasant stuff, tolerable, right? To where you can put in your best light, you can shine your best effort, right? In any circumstance. So I kind of want a Six of Cups. Let's see what we get. Two of Wands. The choice, right? The choice is yours. And you got the world in your hands right there. You know that you could go out there and take any one of these ideas and you can master it. You can be the best version of that thing that you could possibly be. But it's your choice. It's your choice to get out of the safety of your head and get out there and do it. And I think you're looking at that globe and you're thinking, I can be anything I want to be. I can do anything. Maybe it's time to go and do that. Yeah. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini, Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.